Hello, I'm Mark Amino of Exelect Dental Staffing in Canada. This video is for the dentist, or the practice owner, the office manager, or as often the case, the practitioner's spouse. What I promise in this video is to show you the key to building an effective team so that you can increase your income, so you can live a great lifestyle, and two, how to reduce your stress in the practice so you can enjoy that lifestyle. Now those are pretty big promises, but if these areas are important to you, then take the time and watch this video to the end. First, a comment on dentists. Dentists are pretty good people. By a recent survey, the #1 reason dentists became dentists is so they can help others. Let's face it, if you really don't like helping people, then you're in the wrong business because you're dealing with people constantly who need help. Some patients will look up at you in fear when you try to help them. This is up to the dentist to help control and direct the patient through their anxiety. You have to, in a friendly way, control the patient to get the treatment they need. This is done with good communication, where you calmly communicate the need for the procedure and communicate what will happen. Then the patient is happy in the end. So dentists are good people to help. They add value to society and help people. Your intentions are good, then where does the stress come from? Well, we have an analogy called the cart. Pulling a cart is sort of like running a business. You can pull the cart somewhat on your own, but soon find it is too big and awkward, and so you seek to get some help. We hire some staff, and this is what we hope for. You have a team that's working effectively, they're fast, they're well dressed, everything's smooth. However, in the end, often it doesn't come out as expected, and you feel stressed in the organization. This is because not everyone is as dedicated, competent, or pulling as hard as you are. It can look like this. This is a typical business operation, all too common. Some are helping, some are not. Let's look at the individual people on this cart. The first is the performer. Now the performer knows what he's doing and is working hard to achieve it and gets results. Often this is the business owner himself or the dentist. Then there's your effective doer. He's willing. That's the main thing about him, is he's willing to try his best. One day he will become a performer with some training and experience. He's very valuable. Then there's the ineffective doer. Doesn't help much at all. Just hangs out, sort of collects a paycheck. He's there. If he's there or not really doesn't make much difference. Then we have the undoer. Some days he helps a bit, and other days he is so negative he stops things. He's really your source of trouble in the organization. All noise and upsets come from him. He complains, brings others down. Other days he's up and cheery. He goes up and down. Very hard to manage. This is your effective undoer. He is continuously, quietly, and in a hidden way stopping your business. He will smile in your face while he quietly loses patient files. Fortunately, this is only 2.5% of the population. However, if your business was going along and you hired someone and the whole place started to go downhill, things went wrong, they were making mistakes now, income was dropping, then this is what you hired. It is this usual collection of staff members that leads to stress, lowered income, unnecessary long hours. It's the thing that pulls you back into the office. It keeps you there so long that you forget the name of your kids. Now, by replacing the counter-intending staff members with new staff members, you go from this to this. Here you have everyone at least pushing forward. Nobody is actively pulling your business back. Some have more experience and abilities than others, and with time they get better, and with some great staff added, you will have this. This is the way it should be. Notice they are moving much faster and have more in the cart. Everyone is pulling in the same direction. Receptionists don't drive patients away, but keep them scheduled and coming back. Hygienists make happy customers. Assistants actually assist, and money exceeds expenses more and more. The dentist can even take some time off and the cart keeps moving. What Exelect Dental Staffing does is build an effective team through superlative hiring. I've personally seen many reviews about dental offices that say about the same thing. The dentist was great, but the staff was not. Has this ever happened to you? Here's an example. Edmonton dental assistant. The doctor was fantastic, but unfortunately my children, husband, and myself will not be returning. What happened here was the wife took her husband in for an extraction. The dental assistant was, well, a little more than friendly and gave her personal phone number to the woman's husband. The wife found out and was less than pleased. Lost were 2 adults and 2 children, clients, lifetime value about $32,000. Another in Edmonton, a hygienist. Dr. X himself is awesome. The professionals he has working for him are not. What happened here was that the hygienist had a sore back or a stiff back or something that day and was complaining to the patient about her back while moving the patient's chair up and down and tilting it and such in order to ease her back pain. Another example, Edmonton receptionist. I think he is an okay dentist, but unfortunately his staff and receptionists are horrible. Will not return. Now, bad staff will cost you clients, can cause a tremendous amount of stress. Recalls don't recall, empty spots appear in your schedule, new customers get turned away. I'm not saying your present staff is bad. I am saying suppressed income and stress from unproductive staff is very common. Now let's look at your receptionist and the value of a client. According to Fire Gang Dental Marketing, the gross revenue of a client over lifetime is $8,000. Per Dental Metrics, which is an accounting firm, it's $11,600 over 10 years. This is gross income. So we'll pick the lower of the two at $8,000. Also, a well taken care of patient, you do everything right, your schedule, they come in, their teeth are great, or you handle, brings in an average of 2 referrals. They can be their children, a spouse, or friends. Suddenly, a single client is worth 3 times 8, which is $24,000 gross income over 10 years. The receptionist sits directly on the income arteries of your practice. A good receptionist will not only keep your schedule full, but will attract at least 1 new client per month. A bad one will practically bankrupt the place. Here's how it looks. Clients coming in, rejected. Also, the 2 referrals never occur, and you lose that income. Here's how it should be. There with super receptionist, the client comes in, is placed, the 2 referrals occur, and the income from all 3 is received. A consulting company working in BC was working with a dental practice. The practice was struggling. No matter how much they promoted, optimized their website, sent out flyers, their income just wouldn't go up. Just stayed the same. They were asked by the consultant to graph their income by week over the last 3 years. It looked like this graph here. Now you'll notice there's some spikes here. So the consultant said, well, what happened in these spots here? The answer was, well, the receptionist was on vacation and my wife was holding reception. When the receptionist came back, they looked at what she was doing. She was literally turning people away. New clients would come in from all this advertising and they were being turned away. The reason was she liked a nice quiet practice, not too many people around. When the wife was there on reception, she wanted lots of people coming in and being scheduled. So anyway, they got rid of the receptionist, got a new receptionist, and here's where their income started to go up, just like that. So my point is the effect of a receptionist can be very large. The effect of a dental assistant, hygienist, or the dentist himself is also critical to the success of the practice. As mentioned, I'm Mark Emineau. I'm not a dentist. Probably would like to be a dentist, but I'm just not. What I am is a businessman, and for years I had rental properties. So my income and sanity depended on selecting good tenants. After some not so great, expensive tenants, I sought out the answer to how to pick good tenants. I looked around the world, really. I found Exelect, which stands for Excellent Selection, and starting using it on my tenants. I now had 100% great tenants who paid on time, kept the property in great shape, and were friendly on top of it. I liked it so much I bought the franchise for Canada, and I've specialized in dental practices staffing. I don't think you'd want me to do a second molar root canal, but I'm damn good at selecting great staff. So about the company, starting in 2001, Exelect is now in 25 countries and has screened 3 million people altogether. We have 3,000 clients worldwide, which include Toyota, IBM, American Express, and Dental Corp in Canada. What can an effective team achieve? Well, let's hear what Steve Jobs has to say on it. His opinion is, I noticed that the range between what an average person could accomplish and what the best person could accomplish was 50 or 100 to 1. A small team of A+ players can run circles around a giant team of B and C players. Now, most dental practices are small teams, and having the right staff there is essential. One company who has hired every staff using the same system that Exelect uses is KnowBe4. This is a software security company that had 8 staff members and was losing $10,000 per month. It's not very good to lose $10,000 per month. They started to use the exact same system as Exelect and within 30 months had grown to 200+ staff with a monthly profit of $1 million. You can look them up on the internet at knowbe4.com. Another company is in Sweden called Niscalia, which started a new division, and Exelect was hired in order to hire everyone in that division. The new division was to sell and install fire alarm systems for commercial buildings. Exelect hired 302 staff, of which 298 are still on staff at the end of 5 years. Everyone was hired exactly as Exelect hires. The division became so profitable, the company got bought out in 2012 and became with an income of $70 million and sold for $1.2 billion to Stanley Securities. Here is an article regarding the purchase of Niscalia by Stanley. These two examples are cases where the basic product of the company was good and every staff member was hired using the Exelect system. Hiring staff is the biggest investment you make in your business. Look at these numbers. An office manager, when you consider taxes and all expenses, got to pay the government, in the first 5 years cost about $480,000, nearly $500,000. In comparison, if you're paying $500,000 for a set of dental equipment, be a whole office, you will spend months picking out each piece. You'll compare models, sizes, speeds, everything, and you would expect great and operational equipment that'll last for years. Yet in the world of hiring, per the U.S. Department of Labor, 50% of new hires leave within 6 months. If half of your dental equipment broke down within 6 months, I think you'd be less than happy with the manufacturer. Yet such a failure rate of 50% seems somewhat, well, that's the way it is regarding hiring staff. I say it can be done better. In fact, I know it can be done better. For a medium-large practice, say 15 staff, 1 manager, 4 receptionists, 5 assistants, and 5 hygienists, not counting the dentist, the total employee cost is around $6 million. What is it worth to you to get the right staff in that 15? Hiring wrong is expensive. Larry Myler, who writes for Forbes magazine, says the cost of hiring wrong is quite high, 50 to 150% of their annual salary. In addition, there's upset to other employees, upset clients, and your time. and then you have to hire all over again. I'll give you an example here. Last December, we were talking to a denturist in Ontario, and the denturist had a receptionist who would be frequently late, sloppily dressed, and would tend to only take welfare patients instead of full paying patients. Welfare patient would pay $1,500 for a set of dentures because that's what the welfare would pay, while a full paying customer would be $3,000. This is a big difference in profit margin, believe me. He was thinking of replacing her when somehow she managed to slip and fall in the office and got herself injured. It was a workman's compensation claim. Now he has an employee he doesn't want, and his lawyer says if he fires her, there will definitely be a lawsuit. He will lose, and it'll cost him about $50,000. This is all very stressful and really distracts you from running your practice properly. Now let me talk about the usual way dentist offices hire is they put an ad in Kijiji, collect a bunch of resumes, pick out 2 or 3 out of the pile that look good, and do an interview, and then hire by gut feel. Now, the only problem with that is you're using the resume as a way of screening, and the resume is a very poor predictor of productivity. And the other aspect is it's 50% wrong. This method of hiring, per the U.S. Department of Labor, and I say this because almost everybody uses that method. They throw out an ad, collect a whole bunch of resumes, pick them off from the resumes, and hire by gut feel, is 50% effective. Meaning, if you hired 10 people, within 6 months, 50% are gone. This is the average. I've spoken to a number of business owners, and this does occur. And then by 18 months, you got 2 that are left that are really producing. And unfortunately, to get there, you end up hiring 3 more that are still in your payroll. They're just not adding much value. They're just taking a paycheck. Now, another reason that it's sort of difficult to hire well is what's called the interview mask. Now, Exelect has studied this for years. A candidate will put on a social mask for the duration of the interview. Will say nice things, be very agreeable, and can fool you quite easily. One reason is your applicant has read books like How to Get Your Dream Job, How to Do a Job Interview, these sort of books. In fact, I looked on Amazon. There's over 100 of these books that you can get all around how to do the interview and the resume. So the applicants are armed. They're ready to convince you they are the one, and some are very good at it. Once the interview is over and the person is hired, only then do you find out what you actually hired. So if you've messed up on hiring before, the new staff took all your time to get trained and then left, the new staff stole your lunch, chased away all the clients, and left the cat pregnant, now you know why. With a 97% success rate, Exelect Dental Staffing is the proven way to build your practice, reduce stress, and allow you to live the lifestyle you want. With Exelect, you will build an effective and profitable team. Now, the next step here for you is to apply and schedule a one-on-one strategy session with myself. This strategy session is to determine the present state of your practice, what you are working to achieve, and if we have a good fit. We'll be able to figure out how to move forward to achieve your goals with predictability. And then at the end of the call, one of 2 things will happen. You'll either be a fit, and I'll extend an invitation to work with me as one of my clients, or if it's not a fit, that's totally okay. There's no hard feelings or obligation or anything. Either way, you will receive a valuable strategy session and will walk away with newfound clarity as to where you are right now and what's holding you back from achieving the results you want. It will most likely be the most valuable 30 minutes you invest in your business this year. So go ahead and complete your application and schedule a time. Now, I have to say this, we do not work with everyone. When a practice is not actually helping patients, does a bad job with his clients, and doesn't seem to care, we will not work with him. Those who are working well and adding value to society are who we will help. So with that being said, please understand, I have found those who have the ability to make decisions and act quickly are the most likely to get results and achieve the lifestyle they want. So if you feel like this is right for you and you do care about the best service for your clients, then go ahead and apply right now and set up a time for a one-on-one strategy session.